Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, here we are. It's a Thursday. It's a little chilly. We're getting prepared for a blizzard here in a few days. How are we doing, guys? We doing good? How's the week going, Dave?
Well, other than this weather that's coming our way, it's it's been all right so far. I tell you what, I really enjoyed this playoff weekend. I know I've got a couple of great games to talk about. Steve, I know we were talking about this before the cast. This has been an exciting postseason so far, my friend.
Oh, it's been a great postseason, guys. I mean, almost every game has been close, which is what we want. We've had overtime games, exciting games, not as many blowouts. If you remember, guys, more years ago, lots of blowouts in the early rounds, even in divisional. This has been exciting, guys.
It's really exciting because there's Jeff Hostetler magic all over Denver. We feel like, with the backup QB, he's going to come out of nowhere. He's going to beat the Niners in Montana, and
Wow.
I sense it here, guys. But this is, Jared Stidham.
Let's hope not in this certain game's case.
Hey,
Back to the 80s or 90s. Let's not do it today.
Hey,
Today's
Steve.
game.
Yeah.
Steve, I did not have Jeff Hostetler on my bingo card for today.
I know.
I'll tell you that much.
Frank Reich. Hey, there's Frank Reich. There's Jeff Hostetler. Who are the other old ones?
Yeah.
The Hostetler thing got brought up today on the news. He was brought up today because he's like one of the few backups that won. And I think there's some other. Bernie Kosar, that was another one. And
Bernie came in for like a play or two. It wasn't really extensive for Bernie, but
yeah, that was nice though.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Bernie's
We will get right. Yeah, we will get right to it here, boys. Divisional round review, and we will turn to Mr. Dave Greenshield.
Yes.
And the Buffalo Bills had a controversial call there, that interception. What do you think about that, Dave? Bills and Broncos. Want to give us the recap on that, buddy?
Okay, well, I'm going to get into that in a minute, Brent. As far as this one, the Denver Broncos are heading to the AFC Championship by the way of a frenetic finish at Mile High. The Denver Broncos wrangled their biggest win in a decade from Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, but suffered an enormous loss in the process. In a 33-30 OT thriller, the Broncos pulled out a classic victory at Mile High. About an hour after second-year quarterback Bo Nix led the Broncos to a 33-30 win on Will Lutz's 23-yard field goal in overtime Saturday, Denver coach Sean Payton returned to the post-game lectern to deliver the stunning news. He said Nix broke his right ankle a few plays before Lutz's kick sent the top-seeded Broncos to the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. It was strange. He walked off the field before the field goal attempt. He seemed all right.
Yeah.
But, the injury happened. Guys, your thoughts on the Knicks injury. How shocking was that, Brent? And then Steve.
I thought it was very shocking. It looked like he it was like a self-inflicted kind of thing. I don't think there was any contact that I remember. Was there any contact, Dave, on that? It looked pretty, yeah.
No, it didn't look like he took a blow or some kind of big-time hit. When he walked off the field, as they brought the kicker on for the game-winning field goal, I mean, yeah, there was a little bit of a, he wasn't, sprinting off the field, but he certainly didn't seem like there was a broken right ankle there, Steve.
Yeah, Dave. They showed it on replay, and I don't think he even knew that he was going to be injured to be, obviously be out. I didn't see much contact. He played through the injury, Dave, so I thought he was okay until they said it later, until Sean Payton made that announcement. I didn't know.
I was going to say, did that kind of give you a little bit of Aaron Rodgers vibe where his foot got stuffed in the turf with the Jets? That was a little different, but did something get caught up there? I think it was one of those deals where his foot hit the grass in a weird way and then the ankle goes. That's the only thing I can think of because, boy, it looked pretty straightforward there. I didn't see much,
Yeah, maybe we'll find out more later. We know he's going to have I believe, already had the surgery here. And this brings up an interesting situation for the Denver Broncos. Backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham takes over for Nix. Interesting enough, Stidham was the quarterback at Auburn before Nix took over as the starter in Auburn, by the way. They followed each other as Auburn Tiger quarterbacks, interesting enough.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, he took just one snap this season and kneeled down in a blowout win over Dallas in Week 8. Interesting in fact, and then one other interesting fact about Stidham. He was New England's backup quarterback to Tom Brady in 2019 and Cam Newton in 2020 during the COVID year. So that was an interesting little tidbit. This was yet another tough loss for the Bills and star quarterback Josh Allen. I'm going to get into that. The Bills failed once again to reach the Super Bowl with Allen under center, even though Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson weren't standing in his way, this time as that trio of franchise quarterbacks that all missed the postseason party this year. This was supposed to be the year, Stephen Brent, for Allen. I'm going to get to him a little bit later. We'll get into some thoughts there. It started well for the Bills. They went on a 12-play, 67-yard TD drive. Allen threw a 4-yard TD pass to McCole Hardman. This followed Nix leading the Broncos to a field goal on their first possession. The Bills would hold a 7-3 lead at the end of the first quarter. On the Bills' next possession, the Buffalo turnover started with a James Cook fumble at the Denver 31-yard line. I think this was the first kind of momentum-changing plays. The Broncos would go 69 yards for the go-ahead TD. O-lineman Frank Crum catching a 7-yard TD pass from Nix. The Bills would answer with a 33-yard Prater field goal to tie things up at 10 apiece. Nix was still cooking. He took Denver on an 11-play, 71-yard TD drive that ended with a beautiful 29-yard TD press to little Jordan Humphrey. He dropped an easy TD catch from Nix on the Broncos' first drive, by the way, of the game. That was the drive that ended in the field goal, of course. This would give Denver a 17-10 lead with 22 seconds left in the half. The Bills and Allen decided to be aggressive, and it backfired. Didn't help that Allen was holding the ball like a loaf of bread as he was trying to scramble there. The Broncos would recover the Allen fumble at the Buffalo 35-yard line. The half would end with a Lutz 50-yard field goal that would make the score 20-10 Broncos at the half. The Buffalo Bills picked off where they left off at the end of the first half. Nick Bonito was able to sack Josh Allen and strip the football free, so the turnovers continued. Denver recovers, and Bo Nix will have the ball right inside the red zone. Credit the Bills' defense. They were able to hold. This would lead to a Lutz 33-yard field goal that would make the score 23-10. Allen and the Bills were not done. Responding with a 73-yard touchdown drive, Keon Coleman leaps in for a 10-yard touchdown to cut the deficit to 23-17. On the next drive, Bo Nix makes his first ill-advised pass of the game to Evan Ingram. Bills defensive tackle Deion Walker jumped in front of it to record the interception. Really nice play by the defensive tackle. Maybe we shouldn't put as much on Nix for that pick. The Bills would set up shop at the Denver 36-yard line, but the Bills could not handle prosperity. Allen tries to hit Curtis Samuel deep, but the ball was underthrown. And safety P.J. Locke swooped in for the interception. It seems like he needed to put a little bit more air underneath that throw, didn't it, Steve? Do you remember that third quarter interception? I thought Josh could have put that out in front a little bit better.
Yeah, Davey. He should have done that for sure. He was just off and butterfingers. And, he didn't really wear that cape that we always talk about. He wasn't quite Superman like he normally thought he'd be. I thought he was a little off, and Nix was just seemed on fire. Just what a difference, Dave. To compare the quarterbacks, I would have guessed that Allen would have a great game, even though Denver was at home, and Nix just subpar. But it went quite the opposite.
Indeed. I'm going to get into more of that here in just a little bit. The Bills' defense would continue to hold firm. They did a good job of bringing some well-designed blitz packages to Nix in the second half. They gave Allen another chance. He threw a perfectly placed ball to Dalton Kincaid for a 14-yard touchdown to give the Bills a 24-23 lead. It was maybe Allen's best throw of the game. This ended a 9-play, 85-yard drive. The TD pass would come with 13:24 left in the fourth quarter. The Bills would get the ball back with 11:50 left in the fourth quarter with a chance to expand on the lead. They drove to the Denver 12-yard line. Allen's third down pass to Shakir hit a group of receivers before it got to him, which forced the Bills to opt to a field goal. Brett, I think you missed that play where we're going back and forth in text chain on that, buddy.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I think you missed that one, my friend.
I think I might have been getting a refill of my my IPA when that happened, or sorry about that. I should have been a little more on top of things there, Dave.
Yeah, please try and stick with me, Brett. I thought we had a thing going in text chain there. We were going back and forth there, my friend.
I know, because Steve wasn't answering, but Steve was, he was busy. He had some other
I was
duties.
working, but I watched as much of the replays as I could, of course, on this game, guys.
Yep.
I wasn't going to get my IPA, but I worked, and then I got to see the end of the fourth quarter, which was good.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, this is where things really got cooking. A Prater 31-yard field goal made it 27-23 Buffalo with 4:11 left. It was time for Nix to step up, and he did. He would lead an 8-play, 73-yard drive. Sutton accounted for 42 of the 73 yards on the scoring drive, by the way, including a key 25-yard reception on a 3rd and 11 that moved the chains and pushed the Broncos into Buffalo territory. By the way, I thought Nix hits it. What did we talk about in the preview here? Could Nix hit the big throws in the red zone and on 3rd down? And he had a huge one on this drive, by the way, guys. The drive would end with a Knicks 26-yard touchdown throw to Marvin Mims with 55 seconds left to give Denver a 30-27 lead. With 50 seconds left and all 3 timeouts in his pocket, however, Allen was able to lead the Bills on a field goal to force the overtime. However, he had an excellent chance to end this right before it went to overtime. He missed Dawson Knox down the seam for what would have been a game-winning 32-yard touchdown completion. Steve, I thought he had it. That's the type of throw that Superman needs to make.
Yeah, yes, he does, Dave. And he just couldn't. It just didn't happen in this one. No doubt about it.
Tom Brady makes that throw. Joe Montana makes that throw. Patrick Mahomes makes that throw.
Joe Burrow would make that throw.
Joe Burrow would make that throw, wouldn't he, Brent?
Yeah, he was on his A game. I still don't know though. I mean, I still feel like that interception, and I'm sure we'll get to that. That played a major factor in the swing of the game. But he definitely wasn't on his A game like he was in the previous game against the Jags. That's for sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The Bills would get the ball at their own 8-yard line, and they would pick up, in the overtime, by the way. They actually were able to. Denver got the ball first, by the way, I should say, in the overtime. They started the possession. Actually, Buffalo won the coin flip. They, of course, deferred, gave Denver the ball because they wanted to, they get the second possession. They wanted to see what they needed. Denver got the ball first, but the Bills got the stop. They were able to pretty much stop Denver, with a 3 and out there. The Bills would get the ball at their own 8-yard line. They would move the ball to their own 36-yard line. Allen's pass on 3rd and 10 was picked off by nickel defensive back Jaquan McMillan. This was Denver's 5th takeaway of the game after they were -3 in the turnover differential during the season. McMillan was able to wrestle the ball away from Brandon Cooks at the 20-yard line when a field goal would have won the game with Buffalo. Guys, I saw several screenshots of this online, and after the game, was it a pick? Let me start with Brent and then Steve. Your thoughts, Brent?
No, it was not, but I've heard other analysts say they think it might have been a pick. I cannot believe that guys like Dan Patrick said he thought it was a pick.
Wow.
And that ball, and here's the other thing I heard. It doesn't even matter what you thought it was. It was not enough evidence to overturn it. I kind of thought there was enough evidence, to be fair, but that's kind of what a lot of people are saying, is that there just wasn't conclusive enough with that angle. And I know it's kind of that angle isn't the greatest, but I thought you saw enough where he was down. Don't you guys think he was down? I don't know.
Yeah.
Steve?
Dave, I thought it was not a pick. In fact,
Okay.
I thought it was a catch. I thought he was down. I thought they would have reviewed it. I thought the Bills pouted a lot after the game about it. They deserved to, rightfully, a little bit, but they still could have done better things in that game to win it. But I thought it was pretty unfair, though. I was a little bit shocked that they didn't at least consider overturning that.
Okay.
I mean, because he caught the ball, he looks like he's down. It shows like he's down, and then the ball just ends up in the Denver defender's hands. And I don't know. What did you think, Dave? I mean, did you see? How I saw it. I mean, looked like.
Well, first of all, I think the screenshots that are out there online can be a little bit deceiving. I would say this: it looked very, very close. Now, the question comes about: is there enough evidence to overturn it? And I'm not so sure.
Yeah, that's what Patrick was saying.
And that's where I would kind of go with the Dan Patrick line here, Brent.
Yeah,
I don't know if there was enough to overturn.
I mean, it's like he caught it, and then the Denver defender pulled it out from him. But it's like he probably felt like, hey, it was already down.
So here's what Dave is saying. I'll just clear it up. I mean, you heard what he said, but I'll clear it up even more for Dave's argument.
Okay.
You just didn't have that clear $1 million camera shot to say, oh, yeah, you know what? He was down. You kind of had a camera shot, but it wasn't enough. So I think you're saying that, Dave, right?
I don't think that there was a definitive camera angle. I know there were some screenshots out there online afterwards. A lot of people throwing out there that Steve's buddy and Bill's Mafia out there throwing out a lot of those pictures online, trying to convince people that was a catch. But
I think it could have went either way, guys. But I'll tell you what, if you make that opposite call at home in Denver, those fans are not going to be happy, and those refs would have to watch out for themselves probably.
Yeah. I think Dave is right though. As much as
it's not enough to overturn. Yeah,
this wasn't enough. It was close, but it wasn't that $1 million camera shot. This wasn't there, and for that reason, and also too, can you imagine them overturning that call in the games at Denver? You usually, right, Dave?
That's what I was saying, Brent.
Yeah.
Like imagine if that was Cleveland or something. The fans would be going nuts. Same thing in Denver.
Hey, Dave, remember Bottlegate with the Jags? And
that's what
saying, Brent. That's what I was alluding to.
True story. I was at that Browns-Jags game. We had left a little bit early, interesting enough, before that. And the section that we were sitting at was one of the sections that had the most beer bottles raining down from it. By the way,
oh my God.
True story. That's why they went to plastic beer bottles.
Yeah, you got to thank the Cleveland Browns. No more glass bottles.
That's right.
Plastic ones. But now you got to spend an arm and a leg, probably $16 for that beer and the plastic. And they'll still throw them, but at least it's not glass, right, guys?
There we go. We need the HELOC to get eggs and beer nowadays, Brent. Times are tough, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely tough times. Absolutely. Keep going, though.
All right. The Broncos then took possession, and thanks to a couple of debatable PI penalties on the Buffalo secondary, they got well into range for Lutz to kick the chip shot and send them to the AFC Championship game and one step closer to the Super Bowl. Nix got hurt on the keeper where he lost 2 yards and was tackled by safety Cole Bishop, by the way. That's where I found out maybe the injury would have happened. Nix was limping after the play, but again, guys, there was no indication that he had suffered a serious injury. It was, by the way, on that next play, Nix threw a deep pass to Marvin Mims that drew a 30-yard pass interference flag and got the Bills well into field goal range. Nix then took a knee, to center the ball for Lutz's game-winning field goal. By the way, any thoughts on the penalties? I thought a couple of those, that last pass interference where Tre'Davious White threw his helmet, I thought was highly questionable because it seems like they were letting the receivers and the corners play most of the day. I thought those were a little bit debatable.
Good.
Oh, yeah, guys. I think the one against White,
yes,
I think White did hold him. Okay, let me say this on both of the throws. Bo Nix, he threw the ball right where it needed to be. And the Bills defenders, in my opinion, I'm just going to say it, they should have defended a little bit better. I mean, those were flags, in my opinion, especially the White with the White play. I felt he grabbed them. The ball's coming in, and he couldn't catch it because he did indeed grab him. Now, the one before that could have been a little more questionable, Dave, but the Bills, you got to lock down on defense. It's the end of a game in a divisional round. You can't be tugging on guys' jerseys or holding them a little bit. You got to defend. You got to see where the ball's at. I mean, they taught you in high school, college, you're in the NFL, big game. You got to see where the ball's at too. I mean,
Steve, You're not going to make a Cuyahoga Falls Black Tigers reference
I know
here.
Donnie
Oh,
Ross.
wow.
Do not make a
I
Tom
played
Ross.
corner.
My
I
God.
played corner, and we had visibility. It was called visibility, Dave, and we were seeing where that ball's coming from the quarterback, still with our eyes on the defender.
Hey, you learning something here, Keaton? Come on now, let's go.
Hey, I'm learning that Retzer's name's all over Chat GPT because he was a good baseball player. I don't know.
Brett, do you have a thought on the penalties?
Yeah, I kind of thought you got to let him play. I don't like it. I don't want him. Yeah, it was tic-tacky and I don't.
Well, White shouldn't have definitely not thrown the helmet, though,
Yeah,
guys.
that was
You know you're getting 15 yards.
Yeah,
on that.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I just want to add, Joey Bosa did commit a roughing the passer penalty on that drive as well. That didn't exactly help the cause for the Bills. There was a clear penalty. So,
bottom line is this, guys.
Go ahead.
I really wanted Buffalo, and
yeah,
I look at.
I wanted him to.
The Retzer likes the Pats, and I wouldn't mind seeing some of that. I'm not a Texans guy. The Bills was my team that I was going to try to carry to the rest of the way. It's just a shame they're out.
All right, let me get to that.
I was going to tell you, Buffalo just had too much emotions, all from head coach Sean McDermott to Josh Allen to the players to the defenders. Too much emotion. Denver played within their game. They're at home. Sean Payton coaches them well. You could just tell, better coached by Sean Payton. Hold your emotions, man. You got a game to play. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, not everybody is a coach like Vrabel. So there you go, Steve.
Or
family friend Mike Vrabel. There you go.
Yeah, family friend. And keep going.
Here's some final numbers. Josh Allen goes 25 for 39 for 283 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Steve, a week late on James Cook. He goes for 117 yards rushing on 24 carries. By the way, just missed it by a week, buddy.
I know. Go figure. That seemed to be my year. I think that happened to you at least once or twice too.
Yeah, I had that.
Is it right, Dave?
Yeah, I had that on Travion Henderson earlier in the year. It was a week late on him. So yeah, the hero Bo Nix goes 26 for 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdown passes. He did have the 1 pick. He unfortunately finishes with a broken ankle in what was a marvelous season and a marvelous game. Guys, we'll be talking about this one for a while. It was a great game. Just want to wrap up with my conclusion. Oh, what heartbreak if you're a Bills fan and you thought the early 90s was difficult to deal with, huh, guys? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Allen, you're 100% out of excuses. This is the 3rd year in a row you had the ball in your hands to win the game on your team's last game of the season. You didn't get it done. Even if I give him a pass on 2 of the 4 turnovers, the controversial interception and the hit where he was blindsided, even if I avoid those mistakes from his charts, you have to complete the throw to Knox with seconds left to win it. Guys, does Allen ever get it done? Brent first, then Steve. Let's go.
I've been saying it for years that he just isn't clutch enough. Now I'm rooting for him. He's giving me Bernie Kosar vibes.
Bernie
yeah,
Kosar.
He does. Giving me Kosar vibes. He's a conference title guy. Gets to the conference title game and lays it up. He loses. So, no, I really don't think. And I think Allen, if you look at him, even though he's got all the talent in the world, is the moment too big for him? Yeah, maybe a little bit. And so I don't think he'll ever get it done, to be honest. But I'm going to root for him because, hey, got to hope for something, right? And Josh Allen, you're going to root for him. But go ahead.
Yeah, guys. I'm rooting for Josh Allen, but I do agree with Brent in this case. I think the big moment is just too big for him. I mean, Kansas City may be better next year in years to come. But the teams he has a hard time with, Cincinnati may be better. And you're going against Bo Nix, so who I must give him props. I mean, he's better than I thought he was. He's not just serviceable. He's a very good quarterback. But I still don't think he's Burrow or Mahomes. And this was his year. This was your shot. You had your shot and you didn't get it done. I do think he can make more divisional rounds. He may even make an AFC championship, but he just seems to always just be just a little bit short. I know he wants it bad. It reminds me of Buffalo in the 90s. Remember, they just couldn't get it
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
4 falls of Buffalo. Yep, there we go, Steve.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
Brett,
he
go
tries,
ahead, Steve, I'm
but
sorry.
Good,
yeah.
good.
Hey, can I say something to Brent Keaton? Your 2
Yeah.
all-time favorite quarterbacks are Peyton Manning and John Elway. It took Peyton till what, year 8, year 9? It took John
Yeah.
Elway till 1997, Brent. Oh, ye of little faith, my friend.
Yeah, but I think those
that's
guys,
a good point, Dave.
I think those guys are a little different than
Okay.
Allen. I think Allen's got a little bit of it's kind of what Retzer just said. And by the way, Retzer, I said it first. Can you Venmo me the cash? Venmo me the cash because that was my take. I agree, the second that. Anyways, I'm just kidding, Steve. But anyways, $20 will work. Anyway,
Jeez.
I know. Anyway, I got to do it. Anyway, so no, I just think Elway and Manning, that's a big time.
Well, here's the question: can Buffalo put players and good coaches around Josh Allen?
There you go.
I mean, if you remember Denver, they realized you need the right coach, and then you needed a running back in Terrell Davis. Buffalo
call,
may be
Steve.
learning the same.
Yeah,
situation.
good call.
Well,
Did you hire the right
Hey,
coach?
real
Will he
quick.
bring the right players around him? He needs receivers. Will they give him some receivers?
Dave, I'll say this: he needs an offensive-minded coach. I want to see it.
okay.
Yes.
We shall see.
McDermott lost his job over the game, guys. Let's just face the facts on it.
Well,
Yep.
Steve, we're going to get more into that on Sunday when we talk about our coaching carousel, I'm sure.
Yep.
To the victors, I picked the Broncos in the preseason to win the division. Yes, I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Wow.
I did not see them getting to the AFC Championship game. Remember, I did pick Buffalo and Baltimore as my championship game. What a season! Credit Bo Nix and Coach Sean Payton. I had my doubts about Nix coming out of the draft. He's proven me wrong over the last 2 seasons. Nix has helped turn this into a complete team, I should say. It's just too bad he won't be able to finish what has been a splendid year for much of the year, for pretty much the entire season, I should say. The pressure goes back to Sean Payton. He needs to get Stidham ready for the AFC Championship game. It'll be interesting to see how different his game plan will be. In a game we will be talking about for a while, give the Broncos credit for continuing this season with some mile-high magic.
Yeah, well, we will see how they do in the next round. But yes, they did get some magic there and close that out, and they get to the title game, and we will see what happens. We will turn to Mr. Steve Retzer, 49ers and Seahawks. And didn't you picked the Seahawks, didn't you, Steve?
I did. Brent, I did pick the Seahawks in this one. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I did too, by the way. There was some guy who was
There was
talking
another
about
guy that
San
the other
Francisco
way.
treats and rice or
You know what? Maybe a little line from the Deliverance movie. He's got a purty mouth.
Oh, geez.
Good.
Not so much Sunday night, my friend. No.
Yeah. He didn't have a pretty mouth, that's for sure. But anyways, hey guys, you got me. I'll tell you what, man. I had to kind of. I'll be honest. I had to get out of that. I couldn't. That was mad. I felt terrible after that. I really was pulling.
Yeah, you didn't want to watch the game after about second quarter, second half.
I know.
Right?
I think I'm texting Retzer. I go, "How's business going?" I'm like,
I'm checking out. I'm checking out on this.
Check it out, dude. Yeah. I'm checking out. Well, go ahead, Steve. What do you got?
All right, boys. The meeting between the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks was a dominant 41-6 victory for Seattle in this divisional round game played on Saturday. This game was a major statement for the top-seeded Seahawks, who effectively ended the 49ers season in a blowout. It was decided early, guys. It was 17-0 Seahawks after the first quarter.
Steve, didn't you just have a feeling? I thought after the kickoff it looked bad. And then San Francisco went for it on a 4th down.
Yeah.
They get the 4th down. But after they get the 4th down, they say Seattle had called a timeout. Kyle Shanahan's going nuts on the sideline. They come back and they have to redo the 4th down again. And, of course, the 49ers don't get it. I had a feeling right at that time, and it was only 7-0 in the first quarter, this thing is over.
Yeah, I had the same feeling. Guys, it was 24-6 at halftime.
Wow.
the Seahawks kept the 49ers from scoring the entire second half.
Mm.
We finally got our blowout game, since most of these playoff games have been outstanding and very close, to say the least. The game was shaped by a disastrous start for San Francisco and a clinical performance from Seattle in all three phases of the game. Like you just mentioned, Dave, the opening shock. Rashid Shaheed set the tone just 13 seconds into the game, returning the opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown.
Credit Steve Retzer, who talked about Shaheed in his pre-game preview of this game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. I was just going to say that, Dave. I'm glad you're on top of it.
Yes.
I mentioned I thought Shaheed would be a sleeper type player in this one. I was thinking maybe more as a receiver, but hey, he did it as a returner. All that matters is that he did it, and I called it. So, I mean, big game for him. He had another return that was really good. Seahawks ground game. Kenneth Walker, the third, guys, was the star of the offense. He rushed for 116 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns, guys. And that tied the 3 touchdowns, tied a Seahawks franchise playoff record. Guess who he tied it with? Sean Alexander, who scored 3 touchdowns back in 2004. That Sean Alexander was a great back then. I think Holmgren was the coach. I mean, they had a solid team. Alexander. He was on the cover of Madden and all that too. Good. That
Hasselbeck,
and Sean Hasselbeck.
And Sean Alexander, they went to that Super Bowl in Detroit, and before they lost to the Steelers, it was Bill Cowher's crowning achievement as Steelers coach. I know you were celebrating that.
I wasn't a fan of that on that day.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, guys. Sam Darnold, he finished 12 of 17 for 124 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. By the way, Brent, no interceptions.
Where's he at on the island? Is he on the island?
Hey, Brent, I don't think he's getting that ticket anytime soon. I don't think he's making that flight to the island anytime soon, my friend.
No, he's not.
Remember, we weren't going to get him that anyway. We were just going to put him on a freighter ship and be cheap about it and just maybe stick him at the back of stick him on a container or something. I don't know. I wasn't going to pay for no flight. But anyway, bottom line is this, guys.
Yes.
I think he's got to do good in this next game.
Yeah.
Because, the problem is, guys, they did have the bye. So if he does good one game and then he stinks up the joint, I think his Fraud Island status is all dependent in the championship game. If he comes through and stinks up the Super Bowl, I'm putting him. He doesn't deserve to be on the island. He deserves to be off the island. But he's got to come through in this championship game. What do you think, Dave?
Last thought on Seattle before Steve gets to his notes. Yes, Darnold is the key. I mean, the bottom line is this is a complete football team right now. They're running the football with Kenneth Walker Jr., although I hear they did get a blow. Their second running back, I believe, Zach Charbonnet, is hurt. I think is done for the rest of the playoffs. I thought I heard some news on that this week. So that could be a blow. But Walker Jr., they've gotten the running game going. We know this is one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in the NFL, maybe after the Texans, the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
We know they have maybe one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in the NFL, JSN. I'm going to get into that later, unfortunately for me. And, it's all up to Sam Darnold to just play a clean game. If he plays a clean game, Steve, I don't know if anybody can beat this team.
Exactly, guys. And since Kenneth Walker ran the ball so well, Darnold wasn't expected to do too much.
Yep.
Since some thought he would turn it over like he did back in Minnesota days. But when you got that awesome defense playing great and Kenneth Walker running, if both of those could keep happening, he's going to be fine. Now, if they can't run the ball or Seattle's defense shuts down in the future,
different story.
I could see Darnold in some trouble, like Brent's saying.
Yes.
But it's going his way so far, guys. That's for sure. JSN,
completely loaded team. You know what it is? It's the Houston Texans done right. That's what they are.
Well, yeah. I mean,
pretty similar.
We're back to a little bit of a year ago, Brent. If you put the right quarterback, you don't have to have Montana or Brady or somebody like that. If the roster's good enough, it can support a quarterback of Sam Darnold's abilities. But you better have the run game, the receivers, the defense, and he's got it.
Yeah, and what do we always say, Dave? If you have a quarterback that is either 10 to 15 in the league, middle of the pack at worst,
yes,
you can win with a superb defense. But usually it's a middle of the pack quarterback at the worst is what you kind of need. And that's kind of what Darnold is. He's probably middle of the pack. Maybe I would maybe put him a little bit better than middle of the pack. But you get what I'm saying. But keep going.
Yeah, and then, speaking of Seattle and Houston, for example, Seattle's got a lot more on offense, but both great defenses, no doubt. So speaking of some Seattle offense guys, JSN, he only had 3 catches for 19 yards, but one of them was for a touchdown score. Veteran Cooper Kupp actually led the way with 5 catches for 60 yards. Yeah, they didn't have to depend on Darnold like normally, guys. Yeah. So, I said, you could run the ball and your defense could play great. That he did just what he had to, and don't try to do too much. And I believe that's what he did. The 49ers offensive struggles, playing with star tight end George Kittle, the 49ers offense couldn't find the end zone, guys. Yeah, Brock Purdy finished with 140 yards and an interception, while Christian McCaffrey was held to just 35 yards rushing, guys. Yeah. I think that was pretty unbelievable because, we all know how good McCaffrey is. Just one run could have been for 35 yards in his usual football games. Seattle's defense did a great job on McCaffrey. Just 35 yards, pretty unbelievable.
Last thought real quick on the 49ers, Steve, before you finish up. This team just ran out of bullets. There's only so many injuries you can endure over the course of the season. When you lose your 3 or 4 best players on defense, your future Hall of Fame tight end, and you go into a buzzsaw in Seattle and face one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in the NFL, and you face a solid offense that's got a running game that can expose your defense, the injuries just mounted up, and Shanahan and Purdy and the crew just ran into a buzzsaw on Saturday, Steve. That's all there is to it in my eyes.
Absolutely.
You're right. Yep. Keep going.
Yeah, Jake Tungus, I think that's how you say his name. He led the way for the 49ers, 5 catches, 59 yards. So that's what I'm saying. That guy had to catch all the balls because, like you said, Dave, so many injuries. Defensive dominance. Seattle's defense, led by linebacker Ernest Jones IV. He had both an interception and a forced fumble, forced 3 turnovers, and held San Francisco to just 236 total yards on the game. The injuries, like we just said, finally caught up with the 49ers. Not even the great Kyle Shanahan could do anything to stop the Seahawks in this one. With this win, the Seattle Seahawks, 15-3, advanced to host the NFC Championship game at Lumen Field against the Rams, their division foe. For the 49ers, 13-6. The loss ends a resilient season where they had fought through a wild card win against the Eagles, but just ultimately ran out of steam against their division rivals. Guys, after this win, the Seahawks look to be the Super Bowl favorite, many are saying, and as they get the home field advantage again, with the Rams. I said Darnold would play good in this one, and that I also mentioned Clint Kubiak is a really good young offensive coordinator. So, hey, let's go Seahawks, one game at a time, guys.
All right. Well said, Steve. And we will get to Mr. Dave Greenshield and get us into that next matchup. And that'll be the LA Rams and the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, and get us into that matchup, Dave.
Well, the good ones just keep coming here, Brent. The Los Angeles Rams outlasted the Chicago Bears in an overtime thriller at Soldier Field in overtime, 20-17. Brent, more importantly, me and Steve kept our NFC Championship game team alive. The Rams.
That's right.
We'll visit the their NFC West rival, Seattle, next Sunday to earn their first conference championship game since 2021 when they won the Super Bowl. So, Steve, we get Seattle and LA part 3.
Yeah, that should be good.
It's going to be a great one. Division rivals, 2 good games. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, Dave.
I do think that you're right, though. Not the preview, but I think Darnold will probably be the X factor as far as who will win that game. If Darnold does well, they win. If he doesn't, it's up to Darnold, by the way, in that next game.
Yeah, I think he's going to be – I think both quarterbacks, obviously, as they always are going to be a big part of that one, Brent. But we'll get into that in our preview. As far as this one goes, for much of the afternoon, the NFC foes were in this one were locked into a 10-10 stalemate. The Rams got off to a good start in this one. The Bears opened the game with the ball. They proceeded to drive the ball 42 yards in 5 plays to the Rams' 21-yard line. This is where we got the first of peak Ben Johnson's aggressive style. He would go for it on 4th and 2. After taking the snap, Caleb Williams tossed an interception to Rams corner Kobe Durant. It was, he was just trying to make a play on 4th down, by the way. Before Williams' interception, the Bears quarterback did throw a deep throw to Ramadunze that would likely have gone for a touchdown had he been able to bring it in. He dropped it. Key drop by Adunze there, by the way. I would add Williams was victimized by a couple of bad drops in this one. The Rams offense got going early. The Los Angeles capped off a 14-play, 85-yard drive with a Kyron Williams goal line touchdown run. The drive was a nice mixture of run and pass by Rams coach Sean McVay. He would soon move away from the run game, which I thought was nearly a costly mistake in this one. This would be an interesting decision based on the conditions and the success they had early with the ground game. The Bears would respond to the Rams TD on the second time's the charm. Ben Johnson left the offense on the field on 4th down yet again, but this time they were able to cash in. Williams found DJ Moore for a 3-yard touchdown score to tie the game at 7 apiece. The TD pass would cap, again, a 12-play, 80-yard TD drive by the Bears. After 3 straight drives that either produced points or went deep into enemy territory, both defenses were starting to find their footing. Back-to-back 3-and-outs in the early stage of the second quarter. The Bears would take a 10-7 lead on a Santos 48-yard field goal with 1:10 left in the half. The Rams would show a little life, going 8 plays and 66 yards for a Harrison Mevis 32-yard field goal to tie things up at 10 apiece, ending the first half. The Bears defense would really put the clamps down on the Rams after the opening drive. The Rams possessions after that first touchdown drive, the next 6 drives were punt, 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 field goal, punt, and punt. Excellent performance by the Bears defense in this one. They really did a good job of pressuring. Credit defensive coordinator Dennis Allen for designing some good blitz packages to get after Stafford. The Bears would record 4 sacks in this one. They also did a nice job in coverage. Puka was limited to 5 catches for 56 yards, and Adams was really limited, only 2 catches in this one. Although Adams did have 2 big receptions this one, including a key one in the overtime. The Rams finally got a drive going. Stafford led a 91-yard TD drive in the fourth quarter with Kyron Williams scoring from the 5 to give the Rams a 17-10 lead with 8:50 remaining. Nakua kept the possession going on the previous play with a 2-yard run on a 4th down situation. The Bears would start their drive at the Rams' 35-yard line. A 26-yard by Caleb Williams kept the chains moving as Chicago moved into Rams territory to try and tie the game up. After a handful of drops throughout the course of the game, Roma Dunze redeemed himself with a toe-tapping catch on the sideline for 17 yards. Jared Verse was also flagged for a roughing the passer penalty on the play, which had Chicago at the Rams' 5-yard line. Chicago's 4th and goal attempt, however, was unsuccessful as Williams' throws to Luther Burden was broken up to create a turnover on downs. McVay also had some questionable late play calls. With 2:07 remaining in the fourth quarter and facing a 3rd and 10 from his own 14-yard line, McVay called a run for Kyron Williams that gained just 3 yards. He would have been better served putting the ball in Stafford's hands to see if they could convert the 3rd and 10 and clinch the game right there. By the way, guys, I thought it was McVay's coaching in this game kind of surprised me. He went a little bit too pass heavy at times and then wouldn't put the ball in Stafford's hands to try and win the game late, and it almost cost him. Brent, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it wasn't his best, that's for sure. Yeah, the game was kind of a grinded out kind of game. It didn't, it wasn't, you're right, not a very effective or efficient way to call those plays. But at the end of the day, they still get the W at the very end, and they pulled it out. But, it wasn't his best work, that's for sure. But keep going.
Steve, you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I think McVay should have ran Kyron Williams more. I mean, the guy had a great year all season. I give a lot of credit to Chicago and how well their defense played and how good Ben Johnson's doing. But, McVay, for being that all-elite head coach, they still got the win, but it shows he's not invincible, I want to say.
Yeah. This would give the Bears and Williams one more shot, and hold on, folks. After a 33-yard punt, Chicago would begin the drive at the 50-yard line. The ball bounced their way. The Bears faced 4th and 4 from the 14-yard line when Williams backpedaled, avoided the pass rush, and heaved the ball to Cole Kmet for the tying touchdown with 18 seconds left. Although officially a 14-yard pass, the ball traveled 51.2 yards in the air, according to NFL's Next Gen Stats. Play of the year, gentlemen. Steve, then Brent. Go.
Yeah, Dave, I felt like I was playing Tecmo Bowl. Like, remember that Tecmo Bowl? The further you ran back as the quarterback, the better your long pass was going to be. That was like a video game-esque type play. I mean, what a play. Yeah. He's running backwards, and how he connects with them and how he was open. It looked like Kmet barely pushed off, but that was not enough evidence there. And to hit him in the end zone like that, pretty unbelievable. This Caleb Williams, man, he amazes me every game. Like, it seems the guy gets better and better, gains more confidence, and running backwards, that's like a Shador Sanders. Like, don't run backwards unless you can do something like that, Dave, right?
Brett, he had to find a way to incorporate Shador, though. I mean, come on.
I know.
It's his boy,
backwards. So Shador, if you watch that, only do it if you can complete the pass like Caleb. Otherwise, don't do that.
No, don't do it at all. Shador, don't do it at all. What a play. It's just it's just all magic. And, you can't deny it, man. I mean, you remember the previous game, too, how he did good, had some big plays. This guy is something special. And, that's something else. But go ahead.
Yeah, we were going crazy at the bar. The Tito's was flowing. Brent, we were having a good old time.
Oh, we were. Maybe there should have been a cap on those Tito's. Might have had one too many there, but we had good time though.
Good times.
Hey, good for morale. Hey, Dave, good for morale.
Good for morale. Different discussion for a different day about the Tito's, but I digress.
Yeah.
We were tied at 17 in Chicago, and we were headed for OT. The Rams would open up with the ball, and they would go 3-0. On the Bears' possession, Williams briefly appeared ready to keep the superhero act going. Leading the Bears down the field, he was able to get them to the Rams' 48-yard line. The second-year quarterback tried to connect with DJ Moore down the right sideline deep, but the two weren't on the same page, and they weren't in sync, allowing Cam Curl to come away with the game-altering interception. By the way, nice catch by Curl there, Stevie. Diving interception there. Made a nice play on that ball.
Oh, yeah, it was excellent. And, man, the Rams are just too much, but Chicago gave them all they could. There's no doubt about it.
It was a good game. Yep.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, the Rams would go 54 yards in 10 plays. A key 16-yard completion on 3rd and 6 to Puka got the Rams to the Bears' 27-yard line. Harrison Nevitz would make the 42-yard game-winning kick with 3:19 left in the OT. Rams 20, Bears 17. Some final numbers on this one, guys. Caleb Williams completed 23 of 42 passes for 257 yards with 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the loss. Big night for safety Jaquan Brisker, by the way, for Bears safety Jaquan Brisker. 14 total tackles, 1 sack, and 2 passes defensed. Had a great game. Stafford finished 20 of 42 for 258 yards, while Kyron Williams carried the ball 21 times for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're right, guys. It was a great game. In conclusion, the Bears had their chances in this one. They will think about this for a little while. It was interesting. What I found is that, they had, a couple key 4th downs, the tough overtime interception. It's interesting that Johnson didn't go for the 2-point conversion after the Williams miracle pass. Brent, any thoughts on that? Would there have been a chance you would have gone for 2 in that situation?
Yeah, maybe, but they made the call, and I'm good with what they did, and it, sometimes you get risky, sometimes you don't. Some playoffs, and I'm okay with what they did. But keep going though.
Steve, you have a thought, maybe 2-pointer there, or do you think that'd have been too risky?
I think that's too risky. I would not have gone for the 2 there.
Okay. Yeah, overall, I get it. I think the Bears had the momentum going into the overtime. I get it. Overall, I get what could have been for the Bears coming out of this game. But this, by many Bears fans, should be considered a season where they accomplished some major positives. They won their division, beat their arch rival in the playoffs, and more importantly, they may have found their future quarterback and coach. It'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to keep this and build on this momentum following, this season and into 2026. It'll be interesting to see, guys. I heard some people make comparison to the Washington Commanders from a year ago that had the magical season at a Brent side chick, Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Only to revert back to a horrible season. Now, that had a lot to do with Daniels' injuries this year. Because remember, that Washington team won a ton of close games last year. But I do think this is a more well-rounded roster by the Bears, and I think they may have the better coach in Ben Johnson going forward, too.
I agree. Their Bears are better. It's just the Commanders got hot, and also the schedule, I think, favored them a little bit. But, I think the Bears the overall better team, for sure.
Yep. On to the Rams. I really feel we have not seen their A game in the playoffs. This will need to change on Sunday in Seattle, that's for sure. You should never have to apologize for winning, especially in the postseason. It just feels we will need to see much more from Stafford in this offense if they want to achieve their ultimate goal. This is a tough test that they passed. I'm interested in seeing the McVay game plan, especially against that Seattle defense. This is also a game where we will need to see the MVP Matthew Stafford we've seen much of the season. That is it. That is for this upcoming Sunday. On this cold Sunday night in Chicago, these teams gave us a true battle. Brent, more importantly, I still have at least one of my Final Four teams still alive.
Well said, Dave. We will turn to Mr. Steve Rutzer, who, I don't know, he kind of hedged his bet on this, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
In the past, and it's like, who's the best, mom or dad? He kind of he had his pick. He could do whatever he wants. You can't go wrong there. So, Steve, tell us about this Texans and Patriots matchup.
Yeah, guys, have you ever had a loss that didn't make you as upset as normal? Like it was almost like, let me just say it. I felt like I almost had to do almost for the show's sake. I mean, I indeed picked the Houston Texans to get to the AFC and championship, so I definitely had to do that. But yeah, let's dig right into this one, guys. In a turnover-heavy snow globe game at Gillette Stadium on Sunday, the New England Patriots defeated the Houston Texans 28-16 to advance to the AFC Championship game. This victory marked a significant milestone for the Patriots in the first year of who do you know? My favorite, Mike Vrabel era.
Family friend.
Oh, yeah.
Securing their 16th AFC Championship appearance and tying the NFL record for most postseason wins with 39, guys. Again, like I said, I did take the Texans since I picked them to go to that AFC Championship. It was hard going against my Vrabel-led Patriots. I did say the Patriots are starting a new dynasty in New England, and boy, I'm proving to be right sooner than later.
Steve, though, how have you liked their path that they've taken? It's kind of been paved with some interesting teams, a little bit of a weaker schedule, maybe some quarterbacks that might be on Fraud Island. We may have found one in this game, by the way, Steve. Yet another one to send to the island.
Oh, is this another one? Yeah,
Yeah.
he played like it at times, Dave.
Oh, he got dropped off, and like I said on that one, we just put him on like some kind of ferry boat that's broken down, or a cheap ferry boat. We said, "Hey, Stroud, get to the island. That's where you belong, there, buddy." There you go. And you know what? We even fed him for a few days. Maybe like an MRE, and we didn't. Hey, we got a budget. Fraud Island's got a budget. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, guys, the story of this game was the Patriots defense, which completely flummoxed C.J. Stroud. Stroud, he tied an NFL record by throwing 4 interceptions in the first half.
Wow.
Yes, I said the first half.
Jeez.
Yeah, guys, I mean,
Wow.
some people were questioning if the Texans should have benched Stroud and put in Davis Mills, who was reliable all season when he had to play, guys. When they asked D'Amico Ryans, of course, is going to back up his quarterback. But, Dave, I think you said it too.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't have hurt to put Davis Mills in there, right? Yeah, that's right. We were watching the game, and
yeah.
I almost agree with you. I love Stroud, but, man, was he off in this one.
Yeah, I've watched C.J. Stroud, both full years at Ohio State. And one of the great things about C.J. Stroud is it always been his ball placement and accuracy. Well, guess what? That was way gone on Sunday. It was bad. Maybe one of the interceptions, I think either the second or the third, it's escaping me now, was a little bit of a high throw. and the receiver could have had it, but at least 3 of the 4 were just purely bad. One of them might have been on the receiver, but it was, again, the throw was high. And, this was even emblematic in the second half. They had a little bit of a drive at 21-10. I'm just amazed the game was only 21-10 after 4 interceptions at halftime. This game should have been
it could have been more of a blowout.
35-0 or something after your quarterback throws 4 picks and a half of football. But, credit to the Texans defense. That's how good they are for just, keeping the Texans around. And there was even a route in the second half. They drove down to the 20 inside, I think, the Patriots 10-yard line, right around their 5-6-yard line. He had a little swing pass out of the backfield to his running back. I think it might have been Woody Marks. And it would have been an easy touchdown, but he was late on the throw. So even on the passes, he wasn't throwing picks. He was just his accuracy was just way off. I think he got in his head, Steve. I really did.
Yeah, it had to be in his head a little bit because he's usually pretty good, and it's just been tough in the playoffs for him so far. Well, Marcus Jones, he provided the play of the half. He had a 26-yard pick six that actually recaptured the lead at the time for New England after Houston had gone up 10-7. The Patriots secondary, led by Carlton Davis III, he had 2 of the interceptions, and rookie Craig Woodson neutralized Houston's deep threats. Drake May, man.
Yeah.
Despite the snowy conditions leading to ball security issues, guys, May fumbled. Speaking of on the other side quarterback play, May fumbled 4 times, losing 2.
Yeah.
The sophomore quarterback delivered it, though, when it mattered. He turned it over, too. This was like snow in the turnover game, right, guys? I mean,
Steve, he got bailed out by his offensive lineman, I believe, falling on a couple of those fumbles. He easily could have had 4 fumbles lost in this one. And by the way, tough day for Will Campbell having to go against Will Anderson, arguably maybe the second best pass rusher in football right now after Myles Garrett, because he was getting worked.
Dave, we were watching that. Yeah, and he was. Remember, we kept saying they're like, man, look at Will Campbell. Remember? Yeah, because we were sitting there watching this game,
Yeah.
May, he did do this, though. He threw 3 touchdown passes, connecting with Pop Douglas, Stephon Diggs, and finally Kayshon Boutte on a spectacular 32-yard one-handed grab in the fourth quarter to seal the game. Hey, what a grab by Boutte, right? I mean, that could have not this average. Not a bad receiver. New England always seems to get those guys. You don't have to be a great receiver in New England. You can be average and be pretty good, huh?
Yeah, they found something. And as Brett knows, we all like some Boutte. So, pause.
Oh, wow. All right. Continue.
Yeah, guys, Houston definitely had some missed opportunities. The Texans' top-ranked defense did their part, consistently harassing May and recording several sacks. Will Anderson Jr., who I picked as Defensive Player of the Year, he had 3 sacks. And quietly, Donnell Hunter, he had the other 2 sacks on May for the day. However, the offense could not capitalize. Houston was held to 48 yards. And Stroud's uncharacteristic skittishness in the pocket prevented them from sustaining drives, guys.
Let me just throw this out there real quick. Did the Patriots win this game or did the Texans lose this game?
Yeah, Dave, I like what you say there. It kind of felt like the Texans lost it. Their defense still did mostly what they could do. Stroud, all those turnovers. If Stroud plays a good game, you're talking about a 3-point game. Being that Stroud couldn't get together, and guys, Woody Marks, I'm about to get into it. Do you want to say anything, Brent?
Yeah, I agree. I think Houston probably wins with this average quarterback play because, May and company, they didn't really do too much there. Yeah, and they just, that's all there is to it. Just play average, and you probably right day to get the W.
Brent, our buddy Dano or Dan Orlovsky, some people call him Dano, over at ESPN says, and I quote, 31 other quarterbacks would have won that game
Oh,
this
yeah.
weekend for Houston. I couldn't believe him say. Now I heard lately. I thought I saw a headline today. He's had a mea culpa on that one, but that's pretty strong words for him to say, because there's a lot of bad quarterbacks out of that 31, starters in the NFL, and he's saying they would have won that game on Sunday. So
Yeah, I heard somebody say even they think Shador Sanders he gets a W.
Oh,
He gets a W too. No, I didn't say it. Someone else said it on like ESPN. Yeah. So, anyways, all right, continue, Steve.
Yeah, guys. Well, the Texans couldn't get a run game going either. Woody Marks, who was reliable most of this year, only averaged 1.2 yards per carry. Guys, he had 14 rushes for only 17 yards. So it's like, ouch. I guess credit New England's defense.
yes, they played well.
The Browns, former Brown, Nick Chubb, had 4 carries, 14 yards, but it just wasn't enough, guys. Again, credit New England's defense. Christian Kirk caught the lone touchdown pass. Rookie Jaden Higgins, he had 6 grabs for 59 yards. While the star tight end who led Houston all season with receptions, New England held him to just 2 catches on the day, guys. With this win, the New England Patriots will head to Denver to face the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. For the Texans, the loss snaps a 10-game winning streak. Guys, 10 games, I don't know if everyone knew that. That was the biggest winning streak, going into the playoffs and then finally losing out. So they made a heck of a run.
Last comment about the Patriots. Let me just say something positive. May did hit a couple of big throws. That throw to Kayshon Boutte late in the game to basically put the game away was a great throw for the touchdown. I know we had the fumbles and probably could have lost another fumble or 2 in this one. That's going to be something interesting to watch. Campbell, how he holds up against Nick Benito and those pass rushers from Denver will be something to talk about going into next week. So, but if you're New England, you faced a fraud Herbert, 4 interception first half CJ Stroud, and you're going to face backup Jared Stidham this week. So, Steve, your team is living right.
I know. I'm happy, for my Patriots now. To go against Jared Stidham, that's almost like a gift. I've heard some nice things with them. We know Josh McDaniels took him from New England to the Raiders,
right?
And I think at the time, but who was a Belichick? Those guys, he didn't want that, but he took them, and then I guess Stidham had a great game the year the 49ers won the Super Bowl against San Francisco. And Sean Payton said it in the interviews that the guy can play good football, and he has faith in him. So we'll see. But I think New England is in the driver's seat, and right? I mean, they just are. But this goes to Denver, right? So we'll see there, guys. But all I got to say is, let's go Patriots. They have the home game. I'm sorry, against Jared Stidham. I like the Patriots' chances, guys. Let's go Pats.
They have to correction. They're going to
Mile High, Mile High,
for the
thank you, guys, thank you.
Just to clarify.
So, hey, Steve, send me another Venmo because of that correction. Anyway, all right, here we go. All right, boys, we're getting to the bold prediction here. Dave, how'd the bold prediction go for you, buddy?
Not as good as I would have liked, Brent. I had Jackson Smith and Jigba going for over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown against the Niners. Well, 1 out of 2 I got. He caught a 4-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter. He, was only targeted 4 times, 3 catches for 19 yards receiving. The Seahawks really didn't need his services in this one. As this game got out of control, we talked about it. Steve talked about it in his wrap up. Seattle had a 34-6 lead going into the fourth quarter. Ended up being 41-6 final. I expect a little closer one, of course. But of course, I took the 49ers getting the 7 points, Brent. By the way, not good for my wallet.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dave. I really am.
Geez. I can see you're all broken up about it, Brent. Thanks, buddy.
Well, I know. But Dave, you know what Dave used to do, guys, or Steve? He would always take my, whatever my prediction was. He would run with it. And when I would lose, he'd blame me. That happened in the early part of Browns and Beyond. But he hasn't done that in a while. But now it's back, I guess. So
Yes.
sorry, Dave. Yeah, keep going.
Yes, Brett will not be running the gambling portion of Browns and Beyond going forward. I can assure you of that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. I'm out of that. I might take a sabbatical, or maybe I'll go visit Fraud Island. A couple people I know that are on there. Anyways, keep going.
Well, just the final thought, Brett. This wasn't a good one for my wallet or for my bold predictions, which continue to be a struggle.
Yeah, Dave, I'll buy you some nachos at that one place. What's it called? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. On tap. I'll get you some nachos and you'll be okay. All right.
Thanks, buddy. You always got my back.
I know. Maybe give me a few bucks for tip. All right. Here we go. All right, Mr. Steve Retzer, give us your bold prediction, buddy.
All right, guys. My bold prediction was that Josh Allen would throw 3 touchdown passes and lead the Bills to a victory over the Broncos. Kind of like Dave's. Josh Allen got the 3 touchdown passes, but the Bills lost this game 33-30 in the overtime to Denver. And Josh Allen actually had 2 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles, like Dave said earlier. It was a much different game than their playoff game last year. If you guys remember last year, Buffalo beat the heck out of Denver. They crushed them. I was actually surprised because I thought the Bills would sneak by without the Chiefs, who lost, they lost 4 times too, and the Bengals, who beat them once. Guess what, guys? Now we add Denver to the list. Sorry, Bills Mafia. I mean, you have to wait another year.
Yeah, I think we should stop piling on poor Josh Allen. I mean, first of all, a couple of those turnovers were not his fault. I agree with you. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to get into coaches carousel come Sunday.
Yes.
I'm with you guys. They need to find the right replacement for Sean McDermott. Maybe get him a few more targets on the outside. His best receivers are tight ends, or maybe James Cook catching screen passes out of the backfield. They need to find some targets on the outside and upgrade that roster around Josh Allen a little bit. Let's be fair here, moving forward.
Yeah, to be fair to Josh Allen, he needs a couple of good receivers and definitely a top-notch offensive-minded coach to help us matter. Maybe a couple guys on defense, and they could be back on their way.
Yep.
All right, well said, guys. Let's get some final thoughts and get on out of here. Yeah, we will turn to Mr. Dave Greenshield. Give us some final thoughts.
Yeah, just really enjoying the playoffs so far. I was happy that I got the 2 best games of the weekend. I love talking about both of those football games. They were exciting football games, some great plays in those games, some controversy, of course, in that Buffalo-Denver game. And, looking forward to the AFC or to both championship games. Probably looking forward to that NFC championship game. Slightly more than that AFC championship game, though, Steve.
Dave, I'm in reverse of you because it's the New England Patriots led by Mike Vrabel. I'm more excited for the 3 p.m. game, which is Mike Vrabel's New England Patriots and Denver in the backup. But you are right, though. The Seattle and Rams game should be great, too. What is this, part 3, like we mentioned?
Yep.
Should be a great game. Their division, the division battle is always good to begin with. And this will be third AFC, NFC championship. See who goes to the Super Bowl, guys.
Yeah, I think it would be a good championship game if Knicks plays. I think it's okay now instead of great. It's not one of the best championship weekends we've ever had, but I do feel like that night game is going to give us something good because it is it's the third part of the trilogy, right? And who doesn't want to see a good trilogy, So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Guys, have a good one. Take care.